What's up, guys? In this episode, we're going to talk about the price of some crazy amplifiers these days. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy, Louis Torres, and I'm gonna go... what is going on with the price of amplifiers these days? And I'm not just talking about used, I'm talking about new. And it's a given that new amps are always going to be a little more inflated in price than something that's used, that's 10, 20, 30 years old. But that being said, here is a new Rivera head that's being sold on Sweetwater. And yes, I understand that it's a signature model, but at $32.99, yo, I don't get it. Like, what's so much more in that head than, say, any head that's $1,500 cheaper? And keep in mind, I'm in New York State. So you're looking at 8% sales tax. So at $32.99, you're looking at $35.62, right? So you're looking at a $3,500 head. Round up if you want to $3,600. And dude, that's a lot of coin. Yo, that's a lot of coin. I'm sorry, but you have to, again, remember that a portion of that is going to Mick, which the guy's an absolutely incredible guitarist. Good for him for having an amplifier company, you know, endorse him and give him his own signature line. I can't help but sit back and realize, or at least recognize, that companies like Rivera jacking their prices to, you know, the moon, the problem they're going to have going forward is who's their main competitor if it isn't the high-end used amplifier, you know, brands that are out there that everyone's using and then selling because they want to get something else. You know, look at the price of any of the Omega heads. Look at any of the KSR amps. You know, I feel, and I'll go out and say that I have never in my entire life ever used a Rivera head. With that, I'm sure there's a reason why I've never used a Rivera head. That's partially because I've never actually seen one. You know why? It's not a popular head. And yes, you know, I've talked to so many people, and a lot of guys have just told me to grab, what is it, the bare knuckle, the something knuckle, the knucklehead? Is it the knucklehead? And, yo, I've never seen one. Yo, I've never seen a Rivera head in my entire life. I can go back and tell you that I've seen countless times Rivera ads in guitar magazines, you know, going as far back as the late 80s. You know, I'm going back 30 years, and I totally remember seeing them. I've never seen one in my life, nor do I find that people are out buying them. Like, yo, there's so many amplifier companies out there that, you know, I can't help but sit back and kind of mention, you know, okay, so Mick is in Slipknot, and that's fine and dandy, but I kind of feel like they're not as popular as, say, they used to be. And, you know, there's just other music, other bands that people are genuinely into these days. And, you know, when you're into guitars and you're into tone, you know, you're factoring in, you know, bolt-on versus neck-through-body guitars, the pickups, who makes the pickups, how many wounds does it have, how thick was the wiring on those pickups, the cable, and eventually, you know, you boil it all down to you have to have a good quality head. And I'm sorry, yo, $3,600 for a head is a lot of money. Yo, that's a lot. You know, to give you an idea, not one single amp here has ever been $3,000. Forget about $3,600. And I'm cheap, so I buy everything used. You know, I have amps that are $400. I have $200 amps. My Marshall 8100 was $150. You know, so there's so many amps out there that, you know, here's a company like Rivera, and I'm just like, yo, are they just doing what Randall has been doing recently? You know, I have a Randall RD Diavolo 100 that I bought as a B stock, so it supposedly had some kind of a cosmetic issue. You know, literally the back of the Tolex had like a scratch, not even like deep or anything. I'm not talking about a knife. I'm talking about it probably brushed up against a box and left that mark. B stock, my friend, I paid $550 for that thing. And Randall is now selling those for like $2,300. Like, how do you go about selling an amp that literally a few years ago were just a fraction of the price? And yes, COVID, yes, the bottleneck with, you know, with just everything under the sun, from the issue with tubes to components and diodes and resistors and everything that goes into an amp. You know, I still can't factor in that something like that is going to run you $3,600. Even if you have to pay Mick, let's call it $500. They have to give them $500. They're still, before taxes, and this is just MSRP, right? So figure that whichever company or store or Sweetwater, they're not buying it for $32.99. They're buying it for $2,800, and that's going to the actual company on their invoice. So what's their break even? You know, you factor everything in, and it's just like, yo, there's no $3,600 in there. Yo, I bought my Cali used after taxes for $2,750. That's the most expensive amp that I have. And I remember talking to Chris Reardon from Amp Guru, and I'm just like, if you think it's that good, I'm going to get it. And I got it, and it's that good. So, you know, no regrets at all, but yo, think about it. Like, that's literally, you know, this Rivera is almost twice the price. And I have PV6505s that I bought nearly in brand new mint condition for $500. So, you know, yo, watch your money, bro. Watch your money, because if not, yo, there are companies out there that are just like, you got some extra cash in that back pocket that you feel like unloading. Here's a Rivera. Oh, did you like Slipknot? Yes, son. We have your $3,600 amp right here. Don't do that. And that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I just think that they're shooting themselves in the foot by creating an amp that is just priced kind of out there. And with inflation, yo, the value of your dollar is worth less now than it was 6 months ago. So think about it this way. The value of money that you have now is worth less than it will be in the future, but your current dollars are worth more than they will be in the future. Think about that. It's so true, regardless of which angle you take. So keep that in mind. Be mindful with your cash. And, you know, like I said, there's so many amp companies out there that I think are absolutely great. You know, same with like cabinets. Yo, don't go crazy buying, you know, there's buying a cabinet that's great quality where you can customize it and it's worth your time because it's you. It represents you. And then there's every other cabinet that is black and looks exactly the same, you know. And I was talking yesterday to Rob from Arachnid Cabinets out in Sacramento, and he's just like, bro, I just want to be different. You know, I want people to be like, what are the options, and can I have more options that would be available to me based on the color of my head, you know, the color of the amp that they want to get, and they want a matching cabinet. They want LEDs. Like, yo, that's sick. Yo, check the link below, you know, click on the description. I'll put a link right to Arachnid Cabinets. That way you guys can just check that out. And, you know, I feel like if you're going to spend extra money, get something that represents you, something that can get customized. You know, don't spend $1,400 on a Marshall cabinet that looks exactly like a Marshall cabinet from 1978. Like, wah, wah, like what's the excitement there? There isn't any. Like, get something exciting. Get something exciting. And you know what? Having LEDs on your speakers is absolutely that and then some. And then you have Rivera. Yeah, I just think that there's more spice out there with KSR, with, you know, armored amplification, you know, a slew of all these other companies that are just making amps that are just smoking. Do I dare say the larger companies, and they're not really their competition. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, yo, 3,600 or spend 2,600 and get yourself a KSR Orthos. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something special, I think, in getting a KSR than getting a Rivera. All right, so that's my 2 cents. It's my 2 cents, my 2 cents. You know what I'm saying? Huge shout out to Sammy from Goat Whore. So Sammy will be playing, funny enough, I ended up seeing like a second set of Goat Whore's touring list. And of course, you know, any of my boys, I go through the list, you know, just to see where they're playing. And yo, they're playing in Albany, New York. The venue where they're playing is literally 15 minutes from my house. So if you are in or around the Albany, New York area, later this year, Goat Whore will be playing in Albany, and I will be there, and you can't miss me. I'm going to be the guy with the giant camera because I'm going to take photos of them just because I'm a professional photographer, and that's what I do. So that, and you know what? I actually have my Splawn Quick Rod turned on, and yo, it's an absolute beast. You know, I remember, you know, and I mentioned this in one of my other videos when I first got it, where guys were just like, meh, it's okay. It's not that great. Get the Nitro. And I've never used the Nitro, but I basically traded this with my boy, not sight unseen, but kind of sight unseen. You know, like he said that it's a super hot rodded Marshall, and I have a JCM 800 and knew at least I was in the ballpark as far as what I thought the tone was going to be. And dude, just an absolute beast of an amp. And this one's from 2009. So if you find one from that era, definitely grab one, because at some point I have the understanding that they switched to a different company for their magnets. So this one has the Habor transformers. This has and all three are Habors. It has a power transformer, an output transformer, and a choke, all by Habor. And the heaviest amp I ever had or have is the Bogner Uberschall. The Splawn is probably 5 pounds heavier. It's like that noticeable of a difference. So, all right, let me just switch over. Figured I'd dabble-yabble just a little bit, just so it ends with a little ding-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding. That's my guitar sound. So I will be using my 2000, right, it's 2014? Yeah, my 2014 Paul Reed Smith Custom 22. And where's my pick? Right here. All right, so like I said, yo, if you haven't checked out Splawn, and I had reached out to Scott at some point, and I forgot what I even asked him. But Scott Splawn, from as far as what people have told me, like he's genuinely like a down to earth guy, and he's a Christian, so apparently he puts little Bible verses. He doesn't write it out. He just gives you like the location, like the book, the chapter, and the paragraph. So mine is Isaiah. So I actually, after knowing it, I ended up opening the entire cabinet, or the head again, just to find out what he actually had put in there. And I forgot, like Isaiah 3:18 or something like that. And then, of course, I looked it up, and I thought that was cool. That was interesting. Especially if I'm wearing a goat whore or a satanic t-shirt, which is just me kind of mocking religion just in general, because I used to be a born-again Christian as a kid. And now I'm just an atheist that just doesn't care. I think when we die, it's like a candle. You're not there anymore. So makes life easier. That way I don't have to worry about going to church when I'm older. Fucking sacks of dirt. All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Again, click on the description below. I will see you guys at the Albany, New York show for Goat Whore. And guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best, as usual. This gorgeous guy will talk to you soon. I say gorgeous just because of the salt pepper. Apparently, when I'm working, Girls love to say that, yo, what's up, gorgeous? What's up, gorgeous? I'm like, ah, yo, what's up? What's up? I'm freshy fresh.